Hello and welcome to the Cracking Cryptocurrency Market Update. It's a very interesting Tuesday, November 16th, 2021. Welcome everybody. Sorry for the late and kind of awkward start today. We're having all sorts of technical glitches. Internet is acting up today. I just can't seem to get it together, but we're here. We're finally live. It's good, of course, to be back. Bitcoin sliding. Yeah, kind of drifting ever lower. Here we are, hanging on bitterly to a 60K support. Apparently, you're getting bought up right now. A bit of a bounce in the last few minutes. Back up above 61K, or actually not quite. Actually, at 60,600 still. Indeed, looking mighty droopy. Mighty ugly, and yes, the dollar index is going up. Cryptos are kind of dumpy right now. What is all of this spell? What is there to come? We're going to tackle that question today. And we got one of our lead analysts on the case to tell us more. Let's get the man in here. Got Jason Bauman, everybody. How's it going? My man, how you doing?
It's going well for me. I mean, as you guys, if you were here for last week, I was excited going into the weekend. I thought that there was a good chance for a bullish impulse to the upside. Like I did say back when we sold off to that 63 range, that I did think that there was a play in there around up to the 66 range, and then from there we'll really get to see whether we can hold that support or not. And unfortunately, it does appear that we're breaking through to the downside here, losing support. Even on higher time frames, getting initial short signals on almost everything today. So I mean, we might have to just bear down the hatches here to see what happens. But hedging strategies are firing. It's nice to see in the midst of all of this pain in the market that with the trades that we've taken this month, only one of them has ended up in a negative result out of like 15 trades. So, I mean, we're still killing it in the midst of the market sell-off. Now we're just hitting stop losses at break even and clear of the market. So now we just kind of got to sit back and let's see what it does, right?
Indeed, sounds like you're well positioned. I was reviewing the members lounge just a few minutes ago. Quite a few people singing the praises of the analysts. Quite a few people, I guess, grateful, at least right now, for the time being. I mean, how these markets can flip flop and smack you in the face.
Only be happy for a minute.
Yes, but well, we'll see if this does end up tumbling. I think everybody will be very happy. With that said, guys, let me get some music on. Like I said, today we're having some technical issues. First, I couldn't load Discord. I couldn't connect to Discord, guys. For some reason, I turned off my VPN, still couldn't connect to Discord. I then turned my VPN back on, and I connect through Chicago, and Discord came back online. But then, as a consequence, I couldn't. And then Epidemic Sound, what we use for our playlist, guys, also went down today. And it just came back up online right now. So I apologize, everyone. Maybe it's too early to get the Christmas playlist going. With that said, guys, yes, the music has finally been engaged. It's royalty free, so we gotta roll with what we got, guys. Our playlists are the ones that don't get us copyright struck on YouTube.
That one definitely would.
Yes, indeed, that one. Indeed,
like the most played of all time or something.
Right. Indeed, the ultimate. I saw somebody remix. There was a meme going around recently where someone mashes up the Gonna Let You Down. What's that thing? The Rickroll. Rickroll, that's right. Someone mixes in the Rickroll. So it starts as a Rickroll, but it quickly morphs into Yes, so it's a good troll because it mixes both together, and both are indeed those types of tracks that just keep coming back. With that said, guys, big shout outs to the audience today. Sorry about yesterday. Of course, Alex couldn't make it, and we had a bit of a kind of casual, you know how it goes, with a breaking, last-minute kind of show. We put something together for you guys, but we're back, and we're going to do some proper TA and requests today. But first, we get to the news, so let's put Jason's camera away for now, and let's go get into the stories, guys. Get into the news. Let's do it. But of course, later on we'll get into the bubbles. It's pretty ugly. It's pretty red out there, except for one or two tokens bucking the trend. We'll get into the TA, and then in the latter half of the show, we'll get into your requests and more. With that said, let's get into the news, guys. We have a few news pieces to touch on today. This first one comes from Crypto Briefing. Brave is introducing a built-in browser wallet for Ethereum. All right, so it looks like Brave's latest update provides access to a native Ethereum wallet. Brave Wallet can be used directly within the browser and bypasses the need to download extensions. Brave said a native crypto wallet would be useful in overcoming security issues associated with extensions. Yeah, this is a decent upgrade. Generally people when they use browser wallets, they use an extension like MetaMask. The MetaMask itself is relatively safe, but there are issues where times people download they download the fake MetaMask from the store. And potentially try to recover a wallet that way. They get in a lot of trouble. There's other circumstances where other malicious plugins on your browser can cause problems. So maybe having a clean install, a solo install of Brave without any plugins, and its own native, what sounds like basically MetaMask, its own native MetaMask implementation, kind of adds a little bit of layer of security. So decent little development here. Press release on Tuesday announcing that Brave Wallet will now allow its 40 million plus users to access dApps hosted on Ethereum, Layer 2 solutions, and other EVM compatible chains like Polygon and XDAI. Yeah, so basically this sounds a lot like MetaMask. Brave's built-in wallet will compete with other popular Web3 wallets, including MetaMask Trust Wallet and Wallet Connect. Yeah, so it's just another wallet throwing down in the Web3 wallet war. How about that? All right, big shouts to Brave. Big shouts to Brave. I'm actually using Brave, reading these stories right now on my Brave browser. So big shout outs to Brave. And,
making it happen.
Yeah, making it happen indeed. Storming the way ahead.
I do like the idea of the way that they're building ads into their program rather than the way that it's done now, right? Like,
indeed.
I think that it could recreate the way that we look at ads in the sense of like back in the Mad Men era when they would make things to catch people's eye. They had to be entertaining. They had to like them. Nowadays, it's just like trying to get you triggered on something negative so you'll click it, right?
Yeah, there's that's true. There is probably a certain kind of game.
Like the ads that you wanted to see, right?
Yeah, I'm sure right now there's a certain kind of hustle to getting ads, trending on major platforms. But yeah, you're right. Maybe once we shift to a more like decentralized ad space, kind of what they're trying to do with basic attention token, and all that.
Maybe even I can make commercials.
Yeah, exactly. That could actually change the game of advertising online.
So. I think it's brilliant.
And could totally, like I said, change the way people consume and produce advertising. With that said, guys, that's a neat little development for Brave today. Let's get into this next piece. Finn Bold writes, Metaverse will be humongous product category for crypto, says, yes, Charles Hoskinson, Cardano CEO. So yes, another person stating kind of the obvious, but let's have a look here. Cardano's Charles Hoskinson, guys, I'm sure we're all familiar with him, shared his thoughts on the metaverse and how it's going to link the cryptocurrency space, which has, of course, piqued his attention recently. Speaking exclusively with Tony Edwards of the Thinking Crypto podcast that aired on November 16th, Hoskinson was asked about what his metaverse would look like in light of an increased talk around virtual reality. On this note, the mathematician indicated that interfaces are changing, and there's now the Oculus Rift, the HTC Vive, and Apple is investing heavily in augmented reality. According to the Ethereum co-founder, there will likely be a Apple Glass by 2025, and when that happens, Samsung will develop its own version, and the AR mixed reality VR revolution will be on his way. Okay, so he's actually chiming in more on the AR VR revolution, guys, a little bit here, at least in this comment here. And so he says does the Apple Glass by 2025, which does seem a bit distant, right, guys? Still another 3-4 years. Although that's reasonable. That's kind of what I'm thinking, right? Like, yes, like I'm an early adopter. I have a VR headset. I'm kind of getting involved in this metaverse stuff, but I'm a hell of an early adopter. I can't imagine this stuff's going to catch up to the to the consumer space, the average consumer. I think it's reasonable to say maybe not till 2025 when even Apple will have their own glasses, and that's in fact where I think this whole VR thing is heading. We need like a lot of I guess still progress to be made. The hardware is getting really good, guys, but still needs to get a whole lot better. In this case, yes, I can imagine Apple when they finally come through with their VR AR solution. it's going to look pretty sweet. I guess it doesn't take a genius to know who the biggest players in the space are going to be. Apple and Samsung likely to come out right after. If anybody's not familiar with AR, this whole idea that VR is going to actually not be strictly VR, we're actually going to head toward a mixed reality experience, guys. If you haven't seen augmented reality, this is one in which you wear the VR headset, but it projects your actual surroundings around you, but they're modified, right? They're augmented. So it's kind of, so the future, I guess, according to these visionaries, if the meta future that they're pitching is one where you're going to wear not just your VR headset on your couch at home, but you might actually like leave the house and interact with the greater society with your VR on. Of course, by then they're hoping that the thing is going to turn into a form factor similar to glasses, and so you won't look like a damn fool walking around with a VR headset everywhere. But guys, this is
imagine a giant projector strapped to your head.
The early ones were horrible. Let's have a look here. Charles highlighted that these adventures in artificial intelligence, semantics, and interfaces imply that Web3 is not just a thin layer, but also a vertical one, metaverse living just above it. He says, quote, you can either overlay onto the physical world digital attributes, like when you look at a building or a restaurant, which shows on your AR glasses what time does it open and what time does it close, or you can go complete into the digital world and actually have a virtual reality experience. Right. So he's talking about layering, like I described, right? Everything from, basic stuff, right? Your glasses will show you the menu at the restaurant, but they'll also go into overdrive and send you into a complete different reality altogether. The future is quite rich, guys. Maybe we need to make Ready Player One. Yeah, if you haven't seen that movie, Ready Player One, guys, maybe we need to do a community movie night where we watch that.
I still haven't seen that one.
You haven't seen that?
No, I haven't.
Oh, dude, that's like a Spielberg epic, dude. That's a big movie for a modern, kind of flick. It's pretty good. I think we got to make that a watchable movie for one of these movie nights with the community, because let me tell you, if you want a visual for what all this stuff is trying to accomplish, well, we'll just watch that movie. I think it'll do a good job of trying to get this big, ambitious idea across. With that said, guys, I don't want to dive too much into this. I don't really care too much for Hoskinson, nor rehashed ideas that, we get it, guys. NFTs are going to play a big role. NFT and VR, well, give it a few years. It'll be here one day to change the space. All right.
It'll be just like anything else. It'll be your collectibles. It'll be like...
Sorry about that, guys. I'm very, very sorry. For some reason, those bastards at Trust Nodes have some auto-playing videos. So I clicked the tab and suddenly some retarded music started exploding through your speakers. I sincerely apologize, guys. There's nothing more annoying than that sort of thing. Now I'm trying to open the tab without it exploding in my ear again. Let's go see if I can't fix that. Bear with me one more second, guys. All right, boom.
Did you blow out all their speakers?
I might have blown out the community speakers because that damn ad with its overly gained thing on Trust Nodes. All right, I think we're good. Trust Nodes writes, Mara raising $750 million to buy Bitcoin and ASICs. Yes, Marathon Digital Holdings, the stock traded Bitcoin miner with a market cap of about $5.5 billion, offering $650 million in senior convertible notes due in 2026. The offering quickly increased from $500 million due to demand, blah, 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 blah. All right, so another miner, another decent-sized miner. This isn't too consequential, guys. Marathon Holdings, already up with a $5-and-some-odd billion market cap. $650 million in convertible notes so that they can buy Bitcoin and more miners. All right, mining business apparently still good. Let's continue. Here's a piece from Finbold. Bitcoin's Taproot upgrade simply explained. All right, let's see how good of a job they do simply explaining the Taproot upgrade. This is kind of timely because, we've touched on Taproot in the past before. But Taproot is actually, I think, right about to be activated, guys. So I know all the excitement probably spills over into developments, more exciting innovation that happens on other chains, guys. But let's not forget, Bitcoin still gets an upgrade every now and then. And here's one. Bitcoin underwent the Taproot upgrade over the weekend. Well, there you go, guys. It's already live. With enthusiasts terming it a game changer. The soft fork upgrade is generally designed to improve Bitcoin security, privacy, and efficiency. Overall, the update follows the last Civil War upgrade that was carried out back in 2017. Taproot's outstanding appeal is that it involves increased improvements to the Bitcoin code. Taproot is implemented alongside the Schnorr signature upgrade. Consequently, it enables a much anticipated feature called signature aggregation. Some of the benefits expected to come with the upgrade include consolidating all types of Bitcoin transaction outputs into a singular Taproot output. This capability seeks to improve privacy by making different types of transactions indistinguishable from one another, right? So there can be all types of different transactions generated on the network, and in the end, the output is the same. You can't tell what exactly generated, what was the format of the initial transaction construction, I guess, making transactions a lot more obfuscatable, I suppose. Schnorr signatures make multi-signature transactions unreadable. This is a shift from Bitcoin's current elliptic curve digital signature algorithm, right? If you guys know ECDSA, which creates a signature from a private key controlling Bitcoin wallets, right? So we kind of have a current way. We have currently the ECDSA signature format, guys. We're moving over to Schnorr signatures. One of the beauties is that, right now, well, not anymore, but prior to, in the legacy system, when we used this signature algo, when we did have multi-sigs, which is multiple parties control one wall, all multiple people can sign, could be used to sign like 2 of 3, or such transactions. Before, that was plainly obvious that multiple parties were signing one transaction in a multi-sig configuration, and now that's obfuscated. Now you really can't tell. Is it multiple parties signing this transaction? Is it just coming from a single party, a single wallet? Nice. Furthermore, signature also impacts smart contracts. Taproot makes smart contracts cheaper and smarter in terms of the space they take up on the blockchain. Right. Bitcoin does have some basic, I guess, smart contract functionality, some more advanced scripts that can be performed on Bitcoin, but I don't think they're entirely practical right now, guys, because yes, blockchain space is at such a premium. We make those types of transactions prohibitively expensive. I guess this seeks to make it a little cheaper. What else? The signature also supports multi-sig transactions to appear as a standard single transaction, which I just explained. Therefore, multi-sig transactions will be indistinguishable from simple transactions in return to supporting great anonymity. It will also enhance Bitcoin programmability, improve data efficiency through the signature algo. It also seeks to boost security following the addition of this new signature scheme. Taproot also comes with enhanced scalability, allowing Bitcoin to take full advantage of the Lightning Network. This upgrade essentially aggregates all of Bitcoin's keys and/or multi-signatures to perform transactions into a single data set. Furthermore, the network updates highly regarded since it improves Bitcoin's cost by reducing fees. This is achieved through reducing in-block space. Notably, Bitcoin's simple transactions will not significantly impact investors using the assets as a store of value. The most critical aspect of the upgrade is that it lays the foundation for critical updates on the network to come. All right. Yeah, interesting to note, guys, that this idea here that improves Bitcoin's cost by reducing fees is achieved through a reduction in block space. Bitcoin's simple transactions will not be significantly impact investors. I guess anything to keep fees moderately low on Bitcoin. Yes, the functionality isn't as robust, I guess, as Ethereum, but hey, remember the days when we used to make fun of all Bitcoin transaction fees? Does anybody even balk at Bitcoin transaction fees anymore? They actually seem relatively inexpensive compared to what
Ethereum.
Yeah, compared to what Ethereum's been like for what, 3 months straight now. I feel like it hasn't cooled down.
I've just been refusing to use the network lately just because it's too expensive to do anything.
Sadly, I think it really is getting that bad, guys. With that said, let's go ahead and get to another piece here. How are we doing on time? Yeah, it's 1:24. I think we can afford another news story or two. Twitter CFO. This one comes from Crypto Potato. The Twitter CFO says, investing in crypto makes no sense right now. Yes, I guess anybody was wondering, will Twitter be adding any crypto to their treasury, their corporate treasury? Apparently not. This according to Ned Segal, Chief Financial Officer of Twitter. And he sees Bitcoin and altcoins as highly volatile asset class at the moment. As such, he believes that the current landscape does not provide enough opportunities for new investors to get in. Digital currencies are currently too volatile, and Twitter would instead hold on its balance sheet's assets that remain relatively flat. Jason, I get it, right? If you're a big-time money manager, holding billions potentially in, in corporate coffers, yeah, maybe you don't need.
I wouldn't be like, because here's the thing, like I wouldn't have. It doesn't matter what I would think, because I would have smart people around me. And I guarantee they have someone looking at the charts and looking at everything like, well, I mean, yeah, right now might not be the best time, but let's wait for a significant pullback because we likely would get that and then get in. Like, you don't have to be like, oh, I'm getting into crypto now. Like, you can be smart about it.
It's true, indeed, and yeah, I guess there is no pressing need, so I don't really see this as a slight, guys. Remember, this is Twitter, of course, who is, I think, helping a great deal of the space move forward. So I guess it isn't really incumbent upon them to add Bitcoin to their coffers. Like it says here, the
A
Twitter.
lot of money. Like, it's not like they're gonna that would just be like fear of missing out on more gains, right? Like, they're probably comfortable and they're like, oh, we'll be patient with it.
Indeed.
That's the way I'd play it if I had a ton of money.
Indeed, in a separate
I'd be
appearance.
sitting on the sidelines just waiting for it to burn and then picking up the pieces when everyone's crying. Because you don't have to be the person who makes that call right away. Like, if you have a bunch of money, just wait. There will be an opportunity to buy, right? And then when everyone else is scared, you pick up the pieces.
Yeah, definitely not worth taking this as a slight in any way against Bitcoin from Twitter, because of course Dorsey.
That's that. Like, you can still be smart about investing.
Exactly. I mean, and that's why I really don't blame people who don't necessarily invest in crypto. People are still kind of into traditional space. I get that. People are very still leery of crypto as a whole, which is okay. And again, big shout outs to Twitter and Dorsey. They are, of course, some of the biggest proponents of Bitcoin in the space.
Where too, like, in that they're doing big things for Bitcoin. It's not like he doesn't like Bitcoin.
Exactly. Dorsey recently said, "I don't think there's anything more important in my life to work on, and I don't think there's anything more enabling for people around the world," speaking on Bitcoin and Lightning Network, which is quite an impressive statement. In a separate appearance, Dorsey says he sees Bitcoin and its use case as a highly beneficial financial instrument that can decentralize social media, and even more such, he thinks the asset will play a vital role in Twitter's future. So they're definitely they're not bearish on Bitcoin.
Well, that right there, it just says it'll play a vital role in their company's success. Like,
yep, just not adding any to the.
That's almost like a complete contradiction to what the Twitter CFO said.
Well, not necessarily. They'll play a big role, but they just don't necessarily want direct exposure
well, that's
to
what
it.
I think that they're saying that we don't need exposure now. Like, I think that's two different statements.
You're right.
Yeah.
That could change in a heartbeat. Once especially Lightning, guys. If you know how Lightning.
We're in the mid-20s again, there's gonna be so many people that are gonna back the truck up. I will.
It's that, or maybe this whole Bitcoin Lightning tipping will really take off on their platform, and there'll be a demand to have more liquidity on Lightning. There'll be a demand for have maybe even like Twitter managed Lightning payment channels.
I think that's
and so maybe that's one way you'll see them have the excuse. All right, we didn't get into Bitcoin before, guys, but now that we need like $1 billion worth of it for our Lightning liquidity needs, we're announcing today, boys. We're buying $1 billion worth of BTC. That's what I'm hoping the announcement will look like. Maybe next year. We'll see if and when that ever comes. All right. With that said, guys,
you know it. Like, mark the date, timestamp it, Crypto Bowl. Like, this is one we'll come back to.
Word. Let's go ahead and get into maybe one more news tab. Let's have a look. Tether's troubles could soon include an antitrust law. Let's have a look here. This piece comes from Decrypt. Many in crypto aspire to create decentralized alternatives to monopolies, but recent lawsuits, including one involving Tether, show monopoly behavior is a problem. All right, this looks like an op-ed piece, but it relates to Tether. And let's see here. The CFTC recently fined stablecoin issuer Tether $41 million for falsely claiming that each of its USDT tokens was fully backed by US dollars. The agency also fined Tether's sister company Bitfinex about $1.5 million, slap in the wrist, for letting Americans trade USDT and Bitcoin without official permission. The fines were another black eye for Tether, which has been dogged by accusations of financial irregularities, but it could also be relatively minor compared to what's coming Tether's way in antitrust law. In late 2019, multiple crypto investors filed 4 lawsuits, which were all consolidated into one later on, alleging Tether and Bitfinex manipulated crypto markets. According to the plaintiffs, this behavior wrongfully signaled to the market that there was rapidly growing demand for cryptocurrencies, which inflated the price. Soon after, they claimed market lost billions 400 plus billion in less than a month when the big meltdown happened in 18, which led them to seek triple damages on behalf of themselves and other crypto buyers to the tune of 1.4 trillion. Wow, that's how much they're trying to sue Tether for Bitfinex for over $1 trillion. Incredible. Several of the claims made by the plaintiff were dismissed by a federal judge in New York in September. But a claim brought under Section 2 of the Sherman Act prohibiting monopolization did not get tossed, meaning the antitrust could still play a central role in the outcome of this litigation. All right, so they're not completely off the hook. They did dismiss some of the claims. So I think we covered that earlier in September. Yeah, earlier this year in September we covered that dismissal. But they're not completely off the hook yet. According to plaintiffs, Tether controlled more than 80% of the market for stablecoins in the U.S. and the world. Tether therefore had monopoly power, and I guess this is where the antitrust matter comes into it, right? On that basis, the plaintiffs argue that the issuance of unbacked USDT was designed to gain greater market share on Tether, which could eliminate other stablecoin competition and maintain price control over Bitcoin in the crypto market. And so they charge that this supposed monopolization practice inflated one of the biggest bubbles in history. If the plaintiffs prevail, they could stick Tether with one of the largest antitrust fines in U.S. history, but also open the door to further trouble in Europe, where a 2014 EU directive facilitated private enforcement antitrust actions. Right, so EU in 2014 affected similar action where I guess the public, or the private, private lawsuits could be, private antitrust type lawsuits could be brought forth, which is, I guess, is how Tether is still being tried here, right? So because this isn't the government, I guess, with this antitrust, the way I'm reading this, I understand it's the plaintiffs, which are the ones who are suing them in New York court. So there you go. Pretty crazy stuff here. Could they be brought under antitrust law? Were they a monopoly? Did they engage in any kind of illegal market practices, unfair market practices to shut out other cryptos? That's a big question. I guess we'll see. I guess right now, I think the bigger issue here is, what is the government? What are the big regulators? What are the securities? And what are the big enforcement going to do about stablecoins? Stablecoins we've been talking about are in their sites. The big question to me isn't necessarily, how many stablecoin players is Tether keeping out? I don't think maybe necessarily that many. And how many stablecoin players is the government going to potentially keep out? Right there, I feel like they're going to end up choosing a winner at the end of all this in the stablecoin racket. Who is it going to be? And how will the synthetic stablecoins, the decentralized, the more synthetic ones fare? That's a good question. Stablecoin future still in the air. We'll see how this pans out. With that said, 1:30. I think I've covered a bit of news today. I don't think there's much more to add, guys, right? Anything else happening? Nah, I think we're good. Let's see here. No, I think we're good, guys. We'll cover some more news tomorrow. Crypto scams, are they getting out of hand? Nah, we'll cover this tomorrow, guys. As always, stay safe out there. Let's go ahead and get into the next piece. What do we got here? We have Crypto Bubbles. Crypto Bubbles is up next. What's going on in the alt space today? Damn, what is this alt? This alt token, yes, this altless, whatever, alt. Is that what it is? Atlas? No, it's called Altas. Well, it's a horrible name, horrible token, but hell, it's managed to pump incredibly. Look at that chart. Barely, I can't even look at this this vertical line. 162% alt. Where does this thing trade? I'm curious. Anybody know anything about this damn token? Am I going to shrink this down? I do. I'll take a look at this in a few minutes. Very curious to see what this token's about. Suddenly making an appearance on the Crypto Bubbles and in a big way. With that said, Sand. Yes, another token bucking the trend today. Sand, the the Sandbox token is up another 17%. What an epic run for Sand.
Metaverse coins, man.
Yeah, Mana's up a couple points today as well. Mana is up looks like 5%.
I mean,
Yeah,
because everything looks like it's just getting obliterated right now.
it is. So Sand and Mana, a couple of the big gainers in the last couple of weeks, still managed to buck the trend. Apparently, still lots of appetite to pick those up by investors. Wax P as well. Wax P, big shout outs to Wax P. Also up 10% today, but everything else is a wash, guys. Seems like majority of these tokens are down single or double digits. See, what are the big alt losers today? Well, quite a few of them are all down about 10 to about 12%, from Hex to Tron to ZEC down 13%, Near Protocol down 12%, LRC's down 11%, Monero also down double digits, 11%, and Dash, a smattering of other tokens, also down a little, almost a little single digits, almost 10% as well. Quite uniform day of 10% losers. All right, not much more to add to that. It's bloody, but hey, alts have been faring fairly well in recent weeks, so maybe this is just a little bit of profit taking. Bitcoin will hang on to 60. We'll putt along sideways for the rest of the week, and then by next week, this will be maybe I've been a bit dip to buy. I don't know. I'm trying to put a positive spin on it this Tuesday afternoon. Let's go ahead and get into the next segment. What's going on in the community, the live chat? Let's get into that right now. I'm just going to expand out the chat window and go say hi to our very loyal and amazing community. Who's with us today? Longbeard making it first into the chat today. Big shout outs to Longbeard. How's it going, my man? And don't really see you making the top spot on the regular, but you did this time. Big shout outs to you, my man. Let's have a look here. Tim A is with us. Mr. Allen, is it Shadow or Shao? He says Shao. Okay, Shao.
Love you on Home Improvement, man.
Indeed. Let's have a look. Alex A81SG. Hi everyone. Big shout outs to you on DLive, Alex. Longbeard on DLive or on YouTube as well. I mentioned Franklin MC. Good morning. Fun evening. Hope nobody got crushed. Certainly hope nobody in our community did. David Rice. Good afternoon. Yeah, somebody did, but probably no, but not too many people here. David Rice, good afternoon. All very good afternoon to David Rice. Xavier on YouTube as well. Big shouts to you. Any word on DLive? David Rice on DLive as well. That bear gonna get some and go back to sleep for a while. That's right. The bear gets theirs, and the hibernation will hopefully continue. Want to see the bulls out. Anywhere it says alt is taking up the whole screen. Yes, it's one of the biggest, greenest, roundest bubbles I've ever seen in this game.
Ever seen.
Yep. Isaiah.
Woo, boy.
Isaac on DLive. Big shout outs to you. This very nice DLiveian day. Crypto Jenny also on DLive. Can we take a look at PLA? Playdap. Yeah, I'll add Playdap to the request line. Hang tight. Mr. Ether. Wow, what is alt? Well, good question. I'm wondering that myself today. CryptoBull21 asking Sys Bitcoin. Yeah, we'll take a look at SYS in a little bit. Crypto Caveman. Yo, what's going on? Drop us the TA bomb. Yes, well, get ready. The bomb bays are opening. Jason's about to drop an inferno. A real firestorm on the TA below.
You might not like it, but
indeed. CryptoBull21 sounds just like another. Yeah, it does too. Circulating supply of 60 million alts and a max supply of 1 billion alties. All right, well there you go. This is the way, says Mr. Ether. Indeed, this is the way. Peckham08, burn that player for not watching Player One. Shame. Yeah. Well, listen, if you're a crypto person, you don't have to have seen Ready Player One yet. But if you
wrote it in my head, probably.
But if you're an NFT person or a VR person, I think it behooves you to go watch Ready Player One right away. Jack just said the R word. I did. Ready Player One. Did. What did I say?
Yeah. You know what the R word is. You never go full.
Oh, right.
I ain't using it. I ain't getting banned.
I'm
actually not allowed to use it
I usually.
Home my lady's teacher.
Right. I try to avoid that. My apologies if I let one of those slide earlier. Alex,
talking about the noise that when you clicked and blew their speakers out.
Oh, right. That would have been it. Well, sorry guys, that caught me. That practically knocked me out of my seat. So I imagine how it was for you guys. Alex A1SG, can you look at possible entries for FTM and AR? I want to start dollar cost averaging into them. Well, hang tight, my man. We will put FTM up on the board in a little bit. No money in no volatility. Yes, that's I moonshine fuel. You're totally right. There's definitely more volatility, more opportunity. Crypto Bull 21, shoutouts to you. Jimmy Fallon bought a Bored Ape. Damn, everybody's grabbing Bored Apes. I heard what's the other guy? Post Malone, I think, got one last week to this week too, right? I heard something like that. Dave Rice, I hit the like button. Take subscribe out and tell us about it in the chat. That's right, guys. Do hit that like button. Do appreciate that. China FUD again for the 1,000th time, says Cash Loss 77. More China FUD. Love it. Dark Rico,
Yeah,
shout outs to you. Big shouts to Dark Rico, who kicked it with us yesterday on the air. It was a good show. Crypto Jenny with us. I already mentioned Crypto Jenny. Peckham08. WaxP just paid off my credit cards today. Well, big shout outs to Peckham08. Are the charts following the news right now? Could be. Let's see here. Daniel.
Not something I do.
Yeah, I just picked. Yeah, actually, I gotta sell some gains. I think today too. I bought a new e-bike today. I splurged pretty penny on that.
Mile an hour in the woods.
I think I gotta liquidate some of my crypto to pay for this little expense today. So shout out to Peckham08. Wish I had some WaxP to sell in. Made the bubbles today, didn't it? Boris Bitcoin. Here's a positive spin. Bitcoin closed 5 consecutive weeks above 60K. So you can make a case that we're currently testing weekly support. Yeah, that's how I prefer to look at it. Let's see here. Crypto Bull 21. Love that all your shows and movies, sir. Oh, except Tim Allen. Yeah. Yes. What movies did Tim Allen make? What was it?
Jungle to Jungle. All those Christmas ones. You don't remember Jungle to Jungle? Where
Jungle to Jungle.
He ends up having a kid that's like some native, and then he brings him to New York.
Man, we can't even talk about this stuff on this shit. It's no wonder I haven't heard of this. They probably canceled that movie a long time ago. That probably got canceled.
Everyone saw it, dude.
Can't even use those terms anymore. All right, let's continue. Tim Allen got canceled. I remember. He was too based. He was. Can't have.
He got arrested. He got arrested in the '80s for trafficking cocaine.
Oh fuck. All right. Yeah. My apologies.
He came back from that, which was impressive.
All right. Well, let's keep it going, guys. Well, it was the 80s after all. Shout out to Tim Allen. Alive. Yep. Crypto Bull 21. All right. Mentioned that. Shakira. No, Okay, I have no idea, but shout outs to you. Let's see here. Oh, that was the end of the chat. Big shout outs. I got everybody knocked out today. Leor Shapira .USD and CVC. Yeah, sure. I'll add that to the request line. But guys, you know what it is. It's time to get into the TA. It's what you're all here for. Let's do it. Jason, let's go see if Jason, yeah, he's already sharing the screen, so there ain't much more left to do here except hop straight into that scene. Let's get into it. All right. Let's see here. Discord failed to appear, but I'm sure I can fix that momentarily. Yes, now we are mostly on screen. Connecting to Jason's monitor. Let's get into it, guys. Currently has the BTC/USD 24-hour Bitstamp chart up. Beautiful. I'm gonna dive into the charts or into the chat and start requesting removing. God, I can't. Today's one of those days, guys. Jason, I'm also gonna put your webcam up for this component too. If that's cool. Just have a little thumbnail view so guys can see Jason's face. Make things just that much more personable. Love it. Looking good. Looking sharp. The man is on screen, and I gotta go do mine. You hold it down from here.
All right. Well, I mean, there's not really going to be too much to go over today in the sense of like the market overview, because let's just face it, we're not looking very strong here. We're looking very weak. Getting a full short signal today on Bitcoin here. We were talking about this last Friday, and I want to see if we can gain support here. Like I said, I did believe on lower time frames there was a trade up to that 66,000 range, which we did end up getting here, but then immediately just got sold into right underneath our 200 EMA, and then that's now becoming resistance. So I think that this is actually evidence for continued sell-off to the downside here on lower time frames as well as higher time frames. I'll have to just see on the daily close today on whether or not we get a buyback enough for me to enter this at full risk. Other than that, I'll probably be waiting for a baseline pullback up to around that 63, but it might be one of those cases where we just don't get that. So we'll just have to see at close, but definitely not looking good. The 4 hour looking a lot weaker as well. So I do have a feeling that we'll likely see more downside here in the lower time frames, as well as price expansion to the downside. So once we start getting that rising explosion level to the downside, I think that this thing really could rip down here, at least to test that 55, if not clear all the way down to our 200 EMA, sitting there at about like 48, where we had talked about before. I mean, looking at this chart now, as you can see here, when it begins to fail like this, then all of a sudden you start seeing that rising explosion level. We have a large red momentum candle coming in here today, so I think that it does suggest that we're likely to get some more sell-off here. And if we come over to Bitcoin dominance, one thing that I worry about is I think we're likely to see Bitcoin dominance rise here as Bitcoin falls, but I think that that just means that the alts are going to end up taking it a little bit harder on the chin here, because they are looking weaker as well. But usually when you see this recovery type here, and with Bitcoin looking as negative as it does, usually what you see is a loss in all the assets. Just alts lose a lot harder than Bitcoin does. So I'm kind of expecting that. Finally got shoved out of our Ethereum long that we had been in from up here, hit 2 TPs, and finally wicked down here. Just too big of a candle. Had this level marked out that we'd likely test. Came down here and wicked. Way too big of a candle for me to think about entering on today. Wish I could have entered yesterday. Just didn't quite give me that signal. But Ethereum pulling back. Of course, it's had a great run here. Once you break that trend, though, I mean, trend breaks are significant. Right here, boom, yesterday was a close below. As you guys will know, I did exit all of my spot holdings yesterday on the close below the 75 hole on the CME, which appears to have been the right call so far. But I'm just going to have to stick with that, and then once we close back above the 75. But if we get that sell-off, I'm definitely going to be glad that I got out when I did. So things looking good so far there. Things just look super weak, man. Alt perp looking the same. All the charts coming down to test their resistance here. It's just one of those things where we have to be patient, see if it holds or see if it continues to sell off. DeFi perp looking the same. Dragon perp. Yeah, all these charts look pretty much identical. So like, it's leading me to believe that all the requests are likely to look the exact same today. Ship perp wicking down, but seem to be holding a little bit better than others. Might actually be a good opportunity for an entry on that that buyback. Well, looky there. It's like we knew it. On gold, that was the spot that I had marked out, to 1867 range, right on the bottom of this. That gold would likely run up to there and then run into some resistance. I think that you'll come back down here and test, and then that's the real. I still think that gold has a lot of potential here, but getting a little pullback off of a great run to the upside here. Nothing to really be scared of there, in my opinion, but you are getting that full exit signal on both time transformation and minks. So taking profit here, getting out of your position, or just locking in some profit, moving your stop loss to break even, would be a good idea here. I'm guessing the same thing for silver. Yep, got the break here, great signal. You would have hit a couple TPs, and then the same thing here, you're getting those exit signals. So do with that what you will, but I think that it has a chance to continue as well. The same with gold. Interestingly enough, traditional markets seem to be doing well here. The Dow Jones giving a full continuation today. Don't like that it's under resistance, and I'll tell you why here in a minute. QQQ looking the exact same, swinging up, and then the SPY swinging up as well. Actually getting a new all-time high on the SPY, so this actually looks very interesting. But the thing that scares me here is the Dixie. I think that this is a clear break of this pattern here. Below this, I would have been, okay, maybe we can pull back and then traditionals can run. But I think this breakout of the dollar is the chart of the day. I really think that it's going to sweep all the way through here. It's coming up to this resistance here, but I think that it could run all the way up that $97 range after a break of this level. A close above this level, I think, is going to be a longer term bullish signal for the dollar. And I think with that happening, I think we're likely to see big pullbacks in traditionals. So I do find it interesting that we're getting this price action on traditional markets, especially getting a new all-time high out of the SPY with the dollar just raging as hard as it is. So that kind of tells me that, like, in the back of my mind, just something's a little fishy there. And then you see Bitcoin doing the exact opposite, pulling back, and crypto as well. So I'm not really sure what to make of that quite yet. We kind of got to let it develop a little bit more and see which one holds, which one doesn't. But taking things under resistance right now, I don't believe is the right move. But if the SPY closes a new all-time high, then I mean that's a new all-time high. You can't really argue with that. While giving you that continuation, the SPY might be good to run here a little bit more. So I do find that extremely interesting. And then, yeah, of course, the Dixie just looking like it's about to just blow. The momentum it's gaining here, this angle of attack is very high, so it leads me to believe that volatility is going to continue to expand up here to at least that $97 range. So we'll just mark that. So yeah, I think that that's very negative for the traditional markets, but it doesn't appear to be reflecting that today. So something's got to give, and I think that we'll see evidence of that in the coming weeks shortly. But like I said, everything's just looking pretty weak in the crypto space, in which what I usually look at. So we can just probably get into requests because everything, like I said, looks pretty much identical.
Yeah, all right. We can certainly do that, guys. Let me rejig the screen very briefly here, and we will get the first request up on the board. Getting ready to the request, guys. Got a few already logged. Looking forward to getting them knocked out. All right, putting the first request up on the screen now. What do we got here? All right, one big jumbled mess. Let's see here.
Nice.
Crypto Jenny. Crypto Jenny's up next. Can we take a look at PLA? What's PLA? People's Liberation Army? No, it's the PlayDAP.
Is that on Coinbase?
Click your crypto modifier, your filter. Yeah, let's see. PLA. Yeah, let's try Coinbase. Yeah, it looks like there's plenty of data there. Oh, you're on the 4 hour.
Oh, shit. I was going to say, it looks like a very constructive breakout of a ascending triangle, but that is the 4 hour. Yeah, I mean, this does look like a constructive chart, but it's a little late to get involved in it right now, as it's well above your baseline, and I don't like buying the top of green candles. But I wouldn't be worried about it if I was in this. If I was in this, I'd be letting her fly. You would have been taking at least some profit by now, hopefully. You just don't know in these market scenarios. But this is a bullish pattern for sure, which could lead to more expansion to the upside. Everything looks great as of right now. But again, I don't like entering at the tops of big green candles. Pretty solid continuation on the 4 hour, which does look like it's beginning to get followed through here. So maybe an entry on lower time frames up to, let's see, like that 244 range and 266 might be in the cards, especially with this crossover of TT with a rising explosion level. I really like to see that. To get continued momentum to the upside. This looks like a very strong chart in my opinion, but on the daily I think that it's passed, especially with how negative everything else is looking. But if you're in it, I think that you're safe to stay in it and see how long you can ride this to the upside.
All right, PLA, we ride. Let's get into the next request. What do we have here? All right, we're looking good. I'm going to log a couple more in just a moment. We got the following for Crypto Bull 21. He wants to request SIS Bitcoin.
Well, looking at SIS, it's an interesting chart pattern here, but I think it's selling off the same way that you're seeing everything else here. I think that this is likely to be a really good exit signal if you are in any longs for SIS. I think you're not going to get a better opportunity to get out with, I think that you'll likely get a little bit of a pullback up here and then close a hanging man candle and likely get continuation to the downside here. I think that this is a perfect opportunity to take profit on it. It's an interesting spot, of course, because you see this historical resistance turn support possibly here, but you're actually getting sold through it right now. But I think it would be best to heed this take profit warning. If you do end up getting a continuation, it'll likely give you the same entry as back up here. So I think that it would behoove you to rather get out of this or take profit and to stay in it and hope that you get a buyback here. So at the end of the day, I think it's likely to you're likely to probably take that take profit, take your profit on assists, because I think that you got some downside here. It'll end up looking very Bart Simpson-y.
All right, sounds like you're ready to get into the next one.
And then possibly back up there. But yeah, I think it looks weak as of now. I think you should definitely heed these crossovers with the... Oh, never mind. I thought there was a little bit of bearish divergence there, but there is not. You'll just have to wait and see. But yeah, I think that it's a good time to just think about exiting sis.
All right. Well, it's time to get into the next request. Let's do a quick shout out to Crypto Jenny, who thanks you for your look at PLA. Crypto Jenny writes, I bought in yesterday. Thanks, Jason. Well, good stuff. In that case, let it ride.
You bought in yesterday. It's up quite a bit on the day, so that was a great choice. But I don't look at gift horse in the mouth in the sense of, okay, like if it went this much today, how much can it go tomorrow? Like, don't use that mentality. At least be taking profit along the way to make sure that the moment that it does end up elevator down on you, that you're out safely, because that's exactly what gets people caught, is that greed of like, well, if it did this today, then I should hold it and then keep letting it go. Like, you got to make sure you're taking profit along the way. Otherwise, it's all for nothing.
All right. Well, best of luck to Crypto Jenny. Make sure you take your profits. I think there's some targets even on screen there for you to reference. But with that said, let's go ahead and get to the next request. What do we have here? So that was a look at, that was Sys Bitcoin. We weren't looking at Sys USD by any chance, were we? No, that was Sys Bitcoin.
I just pulled up Sys Bitcoin.
Okay.
I think that it actually does look interesting in the sense of the little shelf that it's forming here, and that it hasn't complete. Well, did it wick up all the way there?
All right, because that request did pertain to Bitcoin, so you might want to ignore a bit of the USD analysis in favor of this one, Jenny.
This does look like it has expanding momentum to the upside, to be honest with you, but you are getting that same take profit. I think that the Bitcoin chart actually looks better here, but I think that that could also be a sign that we're likely to see Bitcoin and other alts lose a lot of their value. So, I mean, we'll likely see a lot of Bitcoin pairings do better compared to the USD if we do get that sell-off that we're kind of suspecting, and that we appear to be getting on Bitcoin on lower time frames even as we speak. So,
all right, well, that's a little extra food for thought on.
You're still getting that take profit signal, though. I will admit that I do like this chart a little bit more in the sense of continuation to the upside, but you'd have to wait till the daily close, and if you do close like this, it would be best to just...
Jenny's already in it from yesterday or the day before, apparently, so it's a let it ride type thing.
I thought she was talking about the PLA on that one.
Oh, yeah, I don't know. Why am I... Guys, I'm very sorry. My brain is all over the place today.
Today, Jack?
You know what? Funny enough, I didn't actually. I got up and I went straight... I'm out of coffee beans, and I went straight to pick up that bike today, so I didn't...
You're so excited for your new bike, yet you forgot to drink your coffee.
I'm so sorry, Crypto Jenny. I might have been confusing and running you all over the place, but with that said, that was Crypto Bull's request for Sys Bitcoin. Let's get into the next request. It's FTM for Alex A1SG. Could you look at possible entries for FTM and AR? I want to start dollar cost averaging. All right, so DCA entries. How would you get into FTM?
Well, looking at it here, clearly the move. Clearly the move would have been to be short when the signal came in right here, because you just got no upside after that, and you would have clearly swept take profits here. But looking at it as of now, you kind of got to think about what's possible here.
Go to the
weekly.
weekly.
Know what's coming. Yeah, in the sense of like what's coming in for the sense of the whole market. This is a nice little baseline touch on the weekly, but also nothing you can really do here.
He just wants to buy. He wants dollar cost averaging opportunities.
If you're trying to dollar cost average, I mean, just do it every month, because if you do it at this month, then next month, then the next month before, even if you get it to go down, 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 or up, 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 you're still going to average into the same price no matter what price action does here. But looking at this chart, I think that you're very likely to get a test of this lower band of that $1.50 range. If anything, I would have some orders sitting at 150 to look for that sweep down. You might even get that sweep all the way to that 93 cents. But I really do feel like that $1.50 range is a really good spot because I think that you'll just likely trend down here with a little bit of expanding volatility until you encounter wherever that bottom is and then finally get bought back up. And then it's probably end up going to be like a 3-4 week down and then possibly get that push to the upside. But looking for to DCA, I would have orders on the books at 150 and at 96 and just be patient with it. And then you can just take whatever percentage of what you wanted to put into it, put parts of it at those two levels, and then just start allocating the rest of it monthly to whatever price it is when it opens. Because then I think you'll be safe. If it does end up going up, you'll have a little bit of a position. If it goes down, you'll end up getting great entries into it and then just let it go.
Yep.
So I think that's the best way to do it.
Me personally, I would have snagged. I would have bought the touch of the red, basically your red line there, your red moving average, and your orange MA. Those seem like two spots. I probably, the way I trade, I try to snipe entries like that myself. Damn, these cats are. Yep, and that's probably what I would have entered. But if we are a protracted breakdown correction, my dear Alex81SG, there are some ideas. Same question for AR. Let's go look at the AR chart. Where would we potentially look to get in? Let me go shoo my cats. They're making a bunch of noise.
I mean, of course, you have to pay attention to this level because we just consolidated there for quite a bit that it just wicked off of. You got a continuation on yesterday's candle, which would have played out beautifully. You'd be sitting in a no-loss position right now, and I don't think that you would need to do anything in that position as it still looks very negative from here. But of course, you have to pay attention to this level. So I think in the midterm, you'll likely get another test of this level on a wick down and then get a buyback, or we'll just flat out break through here. So nothing to quite do here. I wouldn't be looking to snag any kind of reversal longs here just because that's not the way I trade, and I don't think that it's going to be a great idea considering the volatility that we could experience if things do start to sell off. And I just don't think that the risk to reward is there for me. Of course, if we do get that sell-off through, then I think that you're likely guaranteed to come down here and test that $31 range. So being patient here and seeing if this actually becomes support, I think is the better move. If you're short in it, you should have taken that yesterday and likely already hit a take profit. So you'd be sitting in a no-loss situation. Just let it run. If you are short in this, I think you're safe to stay in it. If you're holding it, this would be definitely a time I would be getting out. But again, depends on how long you're holding it. A break below this, I think, is guaranteed to sweep through this liquidity. So be careful and watch out for that level at 54. Close below there, I think, is very negative for AR. But if it holds, I think that this will likely become a new level of support. You'll likely range here and then finally get that follow through. But like I said, you need time.
Well, there would be a look at AR for Alex A1SG. Jason, your voice was starting to break up a little bit there. I wonder if your connection kind of was slightly turning sour. We might have to disable your webcam if it continues to preserve bandwidth, if it is a bandwidth issue.
Yeah, just let me know.
Yeah, it is kind of breaking up right now. If you can, go into your Discord and then just switch off the your cam, see if that preserves enough bandwidth to make this better. All right, we'll run. We'll go through this next request without the webcam and see if it sounds better. Right, guys? With that said, this request is .USD for Leor Shapira of the YouTube chat. All right, .USD. Elivian's going to open that chest up soon too.
Not looking just as bad here, coming back down to test resistance levels. I don't think it looks good. Of course, it's another one where you're just going to have to be patient. You are getting a continuation signal on today's candle, depending on how it closes. If it sucks up there a little bit more and doesn't get outside my qualifying line, maybe I can look at taking that short. But there are levels here, of course, to be looking for, to look at to see if they hold. like everything else that we've been looking at. But I think that in the interim, this looks very negative for DOT. It has come back down here and test this level. Again, we just got to be patient with it. Whether these things become support levels or not, we are wicking off baselines and getting bought back up a little bit, but there's still a lot of time left in the week. It's only Tuesday. Things on lower time frames don't look good, so we'll just have to keep checking in on this. I think by Friday we'll have a lot more information here to be like, okay, maybe we should be looking at these as buying opportunities, but I think there's a lot more time for us to go sideways here before we have to make that decision. So I think that that's always the best answer here. But DOT looks very negative here. If you were short at all through this, you'd be right to do so, as well as be taking profit from here. If you are still short, I don't think you should do anything with it. But by the end of the day, depending on if we get a buyback or not, could be a full continuation short on DOT, which would take you down currently if it closed as is. Let's see here. Yeah, something seems to be going a little wrong with my computer.
Yeah, your voice was a little roboto earlier, so I don't know if it's your connection, but you're kind of okay now.
Yeah, and now my trading view is not acting correctly.
Maybe press F5, reopen your trading view window. Hit that F5, refresh this thing, see if that fixes it. Damn, the internet gremlins are just like, crawling all over the internet today.
Maybe because the internet's going down because everyone's selling their Bitcoin.
It's the crash. It's real, boys. It's happening. Happening.
But, okay, back into what were we just looking at? DOT, USDT. Yeah, I mean, DOT doesn't look good here. I think that if you're short it, that you're good to stay short here till you get any kind of evidence. With this kind of sell-off, there is a chance that you might get a nice little baseline pullback here, which I would be looking at as a shorting opportunity. But other than that, DOT looks very weak here like the rest of the market. A lot of week left too, so give it the next few days. But if you do get that, like I said, if you get that buyback on today, I don't think it would be a bad decision to look at taking that. Because if you get that price acceleration to the upside here, just because it's within the same candle doesn't mean that it's not the same baseline bounce that you're looking for, and you'll get that sell-off afterwards. So I do think that an intraday pump to the upside here should be looked at as a shorting opportunity on DOT.
All right, wonderful. That'd be a look at DOT for our boy. Well, I think it's our boy. So, well, I'm not going to make too many assumptions here, but shout outs to user Leor Shapira of the live YouTube chat. They want to also look at CVC USD next, so we're going to get into CVC D Livians. I'm going to open that chest at 10 after the hour. All right, guys. So about 2 minutes, exactly 2 minutes from now, D Live coming your way. In the meantime, Jason, take us through CVC USD.
CVC USDT. What do we got? I like how tight of a range it is, to be honest with you. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I mean, you are getting a full-blown short signal today on this. But it's usually hard with these types of ones when you get a range that's so tight, because yesterday you got a long signal, which was almost a complete long signal. And then today you get a short signal. It's just one of those things that it's really hard to know what to do here. But yeah, I mean, you gotta go with what you know here, and it does appear that this is going to be a full short signal on the daily. If it closes as is, bottoming below zero on time transformation, that's usually a good sign that you are there. It is indicative of a reversal. It is an interesting pattern in that, like, it's very tight, man. Yeah, even that weekly's coming in on a full short signal. So, I mean, you'd have to wait till the end of the week to get this. But it does appear that the price just got absorbed every single time. It's one to keep an eye on, because if sellers can't win here, this is just going to run. And it makes me wonder what kind of future it's got here in the short term. But other than that, if I'm just following pure signals, this is giving a full short signal today. Doesn't look like it actually tests too well, to be honest with you. Yeah, all these signals are getting smoked. So again, not your system's not going to work for every single coin, but the patterns usually correlate. But it's a very interesting pattern. I might just continue to go sideways here, if not sell off a little bit more. But it really wouldn't be a short that I really would want to take risk on. I think that there's a lot better charts out there to look to short that don't have such a tight range, because this is likely to just continue to go within its tight range. So if you're a long-time investor in this, I really wouldn't look at getting rid of it up until it like closed back below maybe like the 100. But it's definitely an interesting chart. Looks different than everything else, but it also is giving that short signal, so that you can't really deny that.
Alrighty, well, that would be a look at CVC as well. That's one of the last requests. Here we are, 10 minutes after the hour. That means those lemons are going to be prepared to distribute. Here we go. Gonna open up that lemon chest. Say it's 60 seconds. Let's introduce the next request, and I'm going to go click deploy. In the meantime, let's get into this one from David Rice. He wants to look at VeChain, VET. All right, VET's up next.
VET given a full short signal today. This is one you can take. Coming back down here to test this resistance, getting bought back up right now. But you can't argue with the full signal here. It looks very weak. The only thing I wish that was added was a rising explosion level here, but by the end of the day we could get that. Who knows? Other than that, yeah, it looks weak. Coming down to test these levels, but again, I think that alts are about to get smacked in the face probably a little bit harder than Bitcoin if we do sell off. So full short signal on VET today, which would have your first take profit down there around that 13.39 cent range. So again, wait till the end of the day. But with the way it's looking and only 5 hours left till market close, it's likely to close, if not a better entry for you, a full short signal. So I think VET looks very weak. Definitely probably come down here to test that 200 EMA at 11 cents. But just to be safe, that's why I use ATR take profits.
Well, guys, it's one of those days. We just given a look at VeChain, but what did I tell you? The internet is full of technical gremlins today. I have no idea what happened. We gave away an empty chest. It failed. It failed to distribute. I tried to distribute. It gave me an error saying you've already distributed your chest.
The gods are not on our side.
They're not on our side, dude. And I just kept clicking it, and then finally something appeared. A blank winners list. Yep. Too close to your last giveaway. I'm sorry, guys. DLive absolutely went broke today. I could not deploy the lemon successfully. With that said, I'll try again maybe when we go to wrap the show. Let's get this last request or two in. We will retry the lemon failure in a few minutes. QTUM for Boris Bitcoin. I want to look at short setups on QTUM and DENT. Would appreciate Jason's views. All right.
The exact same views that I have on VET here. I mean, of course, it's interesting that there's forming some kind of pattern here, which appears to be behaving as support. But I think the close back below here is kind of a telltale sign that you'll likely get continuation to the downside. But QTUM's posting a full short here. I think that this is a very clear little swing failure pattern right there, right up here at resistance. I think that this warrants a short. It really does. Again, can't be 100% right. We got to pick these things that have the best evidence. That's why I'm going to be looking for ones with rising explosion levels tonight. But for all intents and purposes, QTUM is a full short here. And I think that there's quite a bit of space here for it to go. So I think that it's a good signal, quality signal to the downside, just like a lot of the others that we're seeing here. Yeah, I always worry about saying something that I shouldn't, or like worrying about being wrong about like what I think. But because if this gets slapped in the face, I don't want to look stupid. But at the same time, I really think that the odds are in the favor of this having continued downside rather than making a new high off of this swing failure, especially with the dip to the downside that we got, because you'd likely get that price appreciation and close above today if that were going to be the case. For that chart pattern to look right in my head. So I do think that this we'll get to continuation to the downside. So look, entry at 15 would have you taking profit around that 13.94 range, and then from there you can just lock it in and then see what kind of sell-off we end up getting. But definitely a full short here on QTUM.
All right, wonderful. That would be a look at QTUM. What's up next? Same question. DENT. Short setup on DENT.
Pretty much the same chart, man. I mean, I can definitely tell you have an eye for looking at these things. This looks like a big old swing failure to me. This candle right here, and then on top of this one, and then you get that big hammer candle to the downside. I think that this is a beautiful entry on a short as well. Getting the crossover below zero here on time transformation, as well as the initiation out of Minx with rising momentum, not a rising explosion level, but we could get that with continuation to the downside tomorrow. So this could be the most optimal entry here on DENT. So looking at this chart, well, and you might have a couple days as well, because like when you get these, you get some wicks to the downside as well. So you might even hit TP1 and then get continuation to the upside, but who cares if that happens, because you've already locked in profit. But this does appear to be a swing failure to me, and a great opportunity for an entry on a short.
All right, wonderful. Boris Bitcoin always coming in with the quality request. That would be a look at.
You look exactly the same, so I can definitely tell why you picked them.
QTUM and DENT in the bag, guys. Let's go see if I can't open the chest. I'm going to push distribute now. I might get there, or I might get the distribute. Okay, nope, another error. Sorry, guys. I'll try again in another minute. In the meantime, let's go introduce the next request. And I have a bit of other good news, actually, as well. Turns out I have a bag of fresh coffee beans in the pantry I completely forgot about. Gonna go make myself a coffee in a few minutes.
Wake up at the end of the show.
What do we got here? Zill for David Rice. Yeah, let's go look at Zill.
Zill looking like a continuation short with great momentum coming out of it. Little overextended, but I like that in the sense of you have all of your EMAs coming to a head here. And usually when you see that type of thing, you see price expansion. As you can see, like right here, historically, boom, we had price expansion to the downside. Let's go over here. Boom, cross back over, cross back under, got a little bit up, but then boom, come right back down. So it's usually indicative of volatility expansion. So I don't think that this would be a bad entry, especially if you close right here below this resistance. But if you wanted to take this at half risk, put half of it here and then half of it up here towards that 0.09. I don't think that would be a terrible idea, because you might get that nice swing up for a baseline bounce before continuation. But when I look at this chart, this level right here really sticks out to me on this order block over here. You usually come down and get that tested as well, but you just never quite got there here. And I really think that you're likely to get that continuation all the way down to that level. So I do think that this is a great opportunity for a short on Zill as well. Little overextended from the 13 for my system, but if you're using a 60 or something, it might be actually pretty close. It just depends on what baseline you use. But again, you could enter here at probably half risk and set a limit order up here for that swing. If not, take the full risk and then just deal with the drawdown if you do get it. But I think that this does look like price will accelerate to the downside. So good entry on Zill as well, I do believe.
I do see a comment follow-up here from David Rice. Maybe we could quickly look at Zill Bitcoin as well.
Interesting chart on Zill here. You have a clear break of trend here coming up. I don't know why it reset to black, but there we go. Clear break of trend here. Boom, come back down, test as support. Still haven't quite broke that, but things aren't looking necessarily strong for it. You are getting a continuation short on the daily with this sell-off that you got. But again, a little bit more interesting of a chart in the sense that there's a lot more potential upside here, but I think that is evidence that we're likely to see the USDT pairings of these as well as Bitcoins begin to suffer, which would cause these to go up coarsely. So wait for a break of trend on that. I mean, if you're just trading Bitcoin pairs, there can be a lot of gains to be had. I've had quite a few trades that just rode wicks on Binance back when I used to be able to trade on it. That made me quite a bit of money. So trading the BTC pairs, there's definitely stuff there. So wait for this break of this daily trend, and I think that that's going to end up giving you your bottom here for probably at least a test up here to that 213, 214. But again, you'll have to wait, because if we do begin to see those larger sell-offs, it could drag these down as well, and you are getting continuation shorts on the daily. Time transformation would disagree here, but again, you just have to test your systems on different coins and see how well they do. I have a very generic system, and then I look for certain things that I weed out to make the system hit rate a lot better than it would if you were just applying it to general markets, because then it actually kind of looks like garbage. Wait for a break of this trend here, and then with that break of trend and the way time transformation, everything's coiling up here, within the next few days, you'll likely get a full long signal off of this, which would be interesting to see. So keep an eye on the BTC pairing.
All right, wonderful. Let's get into, well, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to try clicking that distribute button on DLive one more time. Get ready. It may fail, or it might work. If it works, you can have, nope, another, please wait. All right, I'll try again in a few seconds. Next request, let's get into it. A few minutes left in the show. LRC for crypto. All right, well, it's definitely LRC, but I've somehow copied the wrong comment over. Let's go look at Loopring.
Okay. Well, I mean, just a great expansion here, but you are beginning to break the trend here. I would think, actually, yeah, you have. No, you haven't actually. You haven't quite broke that trend yet. But coming down here to tag the baseline, great take profit long signal here would have gotten you out right there, and then you're basically going sideways here. Nothing to quite do with this yet. It's had such a great appreciation here off the bottom here. What would it have been? 884%. Yeah, Loopring has just had a hell of a run here. Wouldn't be shocked if you see some pullbacks down to test resistance. If we do end up getting that market-wide sell-off down to that 148, even down to that 68 cents range. But as of now, I mean, it looks like a very constructive chart, and you just have to be patient with it. If you were in it, I would think about taking profit on the position and then moving your stop loss to wherever you got into it. Long-term wise, I think that it does look good. Weekly, I mean, I wouldn't be shocked at all if you get some pullbacks here within the next 2 weeks that make this chart look just like step, and then you might get continuation. I think at some point you will get continuation, of course. I'm very bullish on crypto overall, but a baseline bounce of the weekly, that's not unheard of, especially off of an 800% increase in price. So just be wary of that. But other than that, as of now, there's nothing really actionable on it. I would just be out of it or taking profit here, and then if it continues to run, then great. If not, when it breaks this trend, get out. But great expansion out of Loopring. Definitely big things coming out of them.
Indeed. All right. Well, LRC's in the bag. I'm going to go try pressing distribute again. Get ready. And nothing. I think it's doing what it did last time, which is it's distributing, but it doesn't actually do anything. Well, I'm sorry guys, today's just one of those days on the internet where nothing seems to work. Distribute not working, maybe on some people's screens you might be getting a prompt now. I have a weird feeling. With that said, guys, let's get into that. And one of the last requests of the day. Still a couple minutes left in the show. Big shout outs to Drew Davis of the YouTube chat for that look at Loopring. KDA for any word.
Well, I'm going to be honest with you. KDA and Loopring are like a shot-for-shot chart here. They look exactly the same. Nothing to quite do here yet. You're not below any baseline or anything. You're likely to begin getting those short signals. Momentum is flipping to the negative side, but still nothing you can do. You're coming down here to test this resistance level. This one, let's see. This one actually has two parabolic movements, in which this one actually has broken out of it. So I do think that this larger parabolic move is broken. You could see some more wicks to the upside, but I do think that with the expanding volatility that you're getting here, you'll likely close this I think probably in the negative today. You'll just have to see when we close. But with that, that's going to give you that, sorry, what am I looking for? Three black crows. That three black crows pattern, which is indicative of expanding volatility to the downside, which would likely bring you down here to test this trend line itself. If not, come down here and test here. So I think you should be out of it, taking profit of it. Taking profit. If not, any kind of push to the upside, I think you should likely look as a chance to get out of it. But nothing actionable on my system as of yet. You'll have to wait for later in the week to see if you break the baseline or if it becomes support here. So give it some time, but all signals point to either being out of this or taking profit here before price continues to sell off.
All right, wonderful. Let's go ahead and get into one of the last requests of the day. It's XTZ for Xavier. Shorted both about a week ago. All right, so he shorted XTZ a week ago. What are your thoughts?
We got kicked out of XTZ yesterday, I think. We got to write all this up, and then she just slowly dissipated like a fly in a cupboard. Well, it's giving you a continuation here today. Rising explosion level off of this, coming down, testing your 200 EMA, seeming to be support right now. But I like this signal. I don't like how far away it is from the EMA, so you could look to grab this on a baseline bounce. But it does appear that this is going to continue to the downside. So full continuation with rising explosion level on Tezos. I think you're good to stay in that position, my friend. And if you haven't taken any profit on it, depending on where you shorted it a week back, it should have been somewhere in here in this 650 range. So I mean, if you're scared, take some profit, take a little bit off the table, move your stop to break even. But I would have no problem leaving this thing open and seeing what happens, at least down to that $4.76 range where TP1 would be. You could easily get a wick down to this level. As you see, I've marked out here. It's another one of those things that I always tend to look for, just that untested. It's not quite there, but it's just a little bit untested. So I would be looking for that $4.37 range. But yeah, I always like to look for a rising explosion level on these types of signals, because that lets me know that volatility is likely to continue expanding to the downside. Otherwise, buyers are definitely going to have to step in, and then you usually know whether or not you need to get out within the next candle.
All
Which
right.
would be a daily candle.
Well then, that would be a look at XTZ. Same question for Adam Cosmos. One of the last requests of the day.
Adam, not looking so hot.
Same deal though. He entered a short a week ago. So how do you think his short is looking?
You're good to stay there. If you haven't taken any profit, you could. But also getting a new continuation signal on the daily today, which would bring you right down to that 200 EMA. I think that's an easy short, my friend. You're good to stay in it. I would take some profit around that $25.40 range, and then just let her run. See what happens. I think you're good to stay in this short, my friend.
Sweet. All right. Well, big shout outs to our boy Xavier. The YouTube chat sounds like the shorts are serving you well. Best of luck on that one. Let's get into the last request I have, at least on my board for today. It comes from Mr. Devilke. All right. Can you take a look at DCR? Yeah, we sure can, Mr. D. Hit that like and subscribe if you do like what we do here.
It's a very interesting chart in the sense that there's so many tests of this level. Let's look at the weekly here. I could see why it would be super interesting to look at a reversal here. But clearly I've looked at this before if I have these levels marked out on these order blocks. It's one of those things that it's just really hard to know. Let's see it broken. You do have a broken trend right there, it does appear. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and now it does look pretty weak here. You did get a continuation short on the weekly, which would take you probably right down into those levels. Boom. Yep, right into these levels. I don't think you should. This is worth looking at to catch a knife on. You got a long signal 2 days ago, which looks like it would have hit TP1, so that was okay. But now you're getting sold into pretty hard here. Nothing to do as of now with this chart because it's not even giving you that short signal. You'll have to wait for the rest of the week. But with 5 tests of this level, I think that this will be your telltale sign. If you get price action to the upside and close back above that $131 range, I think that you can absolutely take this back up to that like $150 range at least. But if you get a break from here, then you're likely to sell off down to that 60. It'll probably be a pretty bad sell-off. It'll probably be an 80% retracement off of a parabolic move. So looking at that, let's just look at that parabolic move to the upside. Here, boom. So an 80% retracement off of that takes us right down to this order block here at that $55 range. So I think that makes a lot of sense as well. So do with that what you will. If it were me, I would just be having some orders sit down there at 55 and hoping that we get that sell off. But looking at the daily, things are looking weak off of a long signal from 4 days ago that you could have taken that would have worked out, but you would have been stopped out of it by now. So nothing to do on it. But interesting chart in the sense of I think that this is the make or break time because you don't usually get this many tests without some kind of like it's usually the 6th one that you don't usually see 6 or 7. It's usually 5 and then it picks a direction.
All right, wonderful. Well, you know what? I think that's one of the last requests of the day. Big shout outs to Mr. D over there on YouTube. Like I said, do follow him, subscribe. We're going to be back here tomorrow. Yes, the Cracking Crypto Market Update returns Wednesday for another installment. We're going to have Alex back with us on the air tomorrow. Going to be getting through your requests and a look at what's going on in the markets. Man, not quite as bullish and as it appeared just a few weeks ago. But guys,
well, that's the game, right? And that's what I said over the weekend. I'm like, look, I want to be bullish here. Let's just be bullish until we can't be anymore. And then we did get that price surge to the upside, but it just couldn't be sustained. That's the moment that you need to go, okay, game plans changed.
Word.
Like if it can't go up, it'll go down.
With that said, guys, you know what to do from here. Do check out premium.crackingcryptocurrency.com. It's time to get acquainted with our premium offerings. If you're not yet a premium member, you do want to check out some of our education material and more. You follow that link. Get ready because we do have a Black Friday special coming up. So if something of interest to you on our premium page, just keep that in mind. You probably get a great opportunity to buy in at a great price coming up at our Black Friday special. Finally, check out results at crackingcryptocurrency.com. See what our traders are all about. Check out their performance to date. Yes, they're
up to be a good month so far.
Yep, their trading journals are an open book. You can check back at our traders' historical data to show you just how advantageous it can be to trade with a proper system. Finally, discord.crackingcryptocurrency.com is your link to our Discord server. Look forward to having you guys in there. With that said, I don't have too much more to add. We do got to get out of here. It's 2:30. Great show. Big shout outs to Jason. Big shout outs to the audience. Jason, let me see here. Can you re-enable your webcam? We'll put Jason on screen for the send-off, shall we, guys? Let's do it. All right, Jason has gone live. All right, Jason, we got you on screen. Tell the people wave a little goodbye, and we're gonna be getting out of here.
Yeah, I mean, just for me, trade safely, guys. As you'll know, the people in the group, I went basically completely flat yesterday. On the hedging strategy, as well as the last of my long positions finally got stopped out. The last remaining of them that have hit take profits. So all of those no loss positions, we made good gains on those. So now we just kind of got to look to see what's going to happen next. It might be a good opportunity for me to just sit back a little bit and just kind of give it the week to see where we go. But if there are some really good short signals that I'm seeing at daily close, I'm likely going to be taking some positions on those. So we'll just have to see how close goes here. But I think that ultimately we should be preparing ourselves for a relatively large dip. And if not, it's always easy to get back in on a break of new highs. And we don't lose anything in the sense of value, maybe in the sense of Bitcoin a little bit, but not in the sense of our value of our USD. And at this point in any trader's career, it should be about capital preservation. So that's a win in my book. I think it's a better way of looking at this rather than hoping that it goes up and then we get a crash. The charts are starting to point to weakness, so we need to prepare ourselves accordingly. So just make sure you're taking that into account on everything that you're doing.
For sure. Well said. Well, I'm going to go ahead and prepare to buy that 30% dip if and when it lands in our face this week. And look forward to seeing you guys at 100K by end of year. So nobody panic. With that said, much love to you guys. We'll see you tomorrow. Don't work too hard. Peace.
Goodbye.
That's the stuff.